All right, so this is a recap of today's live guided adventure that was at 1, and it is daily healing number 163, and that is putting my life on hold for another. So we started off with, we went in, and Kat was like, man, it feels like something's behind me, and I'm just like waiting, and I'm just looking over here. Then I was like, mine feels like the Jack Nicholson filter whenever you're riding a bike through the shining hallway and Jack Nicholson's like faces through the door and it's like psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est, ha 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 ha, and you're like running, and I'm like, but I'm not moving, I'm not running, I'm just wondering what is I am like, what is this? What is there's something here, and Kat was like, yeah, the same. And everyone in class was like nodding along. And it was kind of like, man, do we just like put our life on hold trying to figure out what everything is? Like we were trying to go into it. And then somehow we started talking about accents, and everybody was agreeing in the comments in the chat about how like, yeah, we like, I guess in a way put ourselves on hold because people can't understand us. But it's not true because they can't understand us. They're choosing not to. They're sitting there going, la, 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 can't hear you, can't see you. And so that made me go into something that happened with me on a video game where I was like, yeah, this is like the point in my life. It was like over Xbox where I like stopped with my accent because they couldn't understand going through this maze, and then we had to flip the switch. And Kat was like, say how you would say how you were saying it, and like all this stuff. And I was like, no. It made me go into it, and I was like, I want to like kick and scream and be like, no. And then everybody was like nodding along because they had similar. Like when we do this, whenever we go through our own stories, it is because everybody else went into their own story and like their own point where they stopped either using their accent or they put themselves on hold. And then after I did like the scar tissue, removal healings and all that, because I was like, man, it's like what we healed before the class earlier. It was like a scab. But then we were looking up on Kat's window and noticing like bug poop because it's Florida and it's outside of the window, and it looked like rust, but it's not actually rust. It's like bug guts and bug poop and stuff like that. And I was like, man, it reminds me of like the scar stuff. And Kat was like, yes, it looks like the scar tissue stuff that we removed earlier, and which was like a gauze that we saw because we had like big life events happening. And we were like, man, how is non-chosen family like seeping in? It's because like the wound kept getting ripped open, and all of the like the stuff was like seeping through the gauze and stuff like that, and seeping through because gauze is meant to break down because, you know, in case it gets left on a body or whatever. And so yeah, we removed all that, and then it came up again in class. And so once we did scar tissues and backlogs and backups and the pit healings and all that, Kat was like, oh yeah, they were like jacking it to your voice. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's very Xbox. And it's like rarely what we ever think it's gonna go into. Putting your life on hold, accents. But we did start the class off by giving a bunch of examples and about how it's not just like with people, it's through like incidences. And so yeah, and a lot of like birth family stuff, like non-chosen family or however you want to put that stuff. And then we started going into like hair and how long it took all of us to get the correct hairdresser, but like it was because of different understanding of different words and different things. But once we finally like dug to the bottom of it and were able to find what we were asking for, like it was all good. And we were all kind of saying that we've all experienced the same thing lately of how we finally were able to get like the hair that we wanted or that we were looking for. And like Kat was talking about the tuck boxes of the tarot and stuff like that, and about how we don't really care if someone else makes it, and if like they do all the stuff and they want to say that they made it or whatever. We just want the thing. We just want what we want. We want the correct thing. We want the correct thing. We don't care who puts their fucking name on it. Like, we just want the thing that we want. And so we did like the reverse rhythmatism healing to it. And yeah, it was really freaking cool. And I'm really excited to see how this comes up in the physical. So, okay, bye.